power sharing. First tell me that I am audible and visible properly or not. Am I audible and visible properly or not? Okay, thank you very much. So the first chapter which we will deal with is actually power sharing. This is the first chapter for you. So while explaining power sharing, we will refer to two different countries. One is Belgium, another one is Sri Lanka, and we will find out that how power was being shared in these two countries. First of all, we will see about Belgium. We all know that Belgium is a very small country. Clear? In Belgium, there were ethnic differences amongst people. Ethnic means in terms of language, in terms of culture, in terms of race, in terms of religion. There were ethnic differences. First of all, we will see in Belgium. In Belgium, 59% of the people spoke Dutch language. They were Dutch speaking people and they lived in the Flemish region of Belgium. They lived in the Flemish region of Belgium. On the other hand, let me ,59% of them who lived in the Flemish region, they spoke Dutch. They were Dutch speaking people. The rest 40% spoke French, and the remaining 1% spoke German. On the other hand, in the capital city of Brussels, Brussels is the capital of Belgium, the scenario was just the opposite. Once, please. The scenario was just the opposite in Brussels, where 80% of the people, they spoke French. They not only spoke French, these people were rich and powerful. And the remaining 20%, they spoke Dutch. Clear? So two opposite scenarios, one in Belgium, another one in Brussels. These 80% people, those who spoke French, they were rich, and whatever development, facilities, they got it much earlier than the Dutch. So as a result, there was a kind of internal conflict on this basis amongst the Dutch speaking people and the French speaking people, which occupied different parts of Belgium. Now the government of Belgium, in order to cope up with this situation where there were ethnic differences between them, in order to cope up with this situation, what did it do? I'm removing this part. How did the Belgian government cope up with the situation? The government of Belgium, the Belgian government, changed the constitution 4 times between 1970 to 1993. It had changed the constitution 4 times in order to accommodate the differences which existed between the Dutch speaking people and the French speaking people, and a new Belgian constitution was formed. So we will see what were the new model, the new constitution of Belgium. A new Belgian model constitution was formed, and what was mentioned in this constitution, which was amended after being amended for 4 times, a new constitution of Belgium was formed. And what was mentioned in that constitution, that in the central government there will be equal number of Dutch and French speaking ministers. In the central government, ministers speaking Dutch and French languages, they will be equal in number. Then some of the powers from the state government, some of the powers should be given to the state government from the central government. Some of the powers of the central government is to be transferred to the state government. Clear? Then Brussels will have its own government. Brussels will have its own government, and in this government Brussels will keep equal number of French and Dutch speaking people. Why? Because in Belgium, when the Dutch people were in a majority, they accepted the French speaking people, and in Brussels the French speaking people were in majority. So as the French speaking people were accepted by the central government, they must also accept the Dutch speaking people in the same manner. And one more, a third government which was known to be the community government, it was formed, which will be elected both by the French and Dutch speaking members. So in order to deal with this problem, you can find that in Belgium, the problem which arose due to ethnic differences between the two communities, that is the French speaking community and the Dutch speaking community. The problem was, very nicely, very wisely, the problems was sought out, and the problems which were existing, they were easily accommodated without going into any kind of conflict or any kind of war. If you have any question from this part, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I will go to the next part, that is the problem in Sri Lanka. What happened in Sri Lanka, I will move to that part. Okay. Now we will see what was the case in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka and Belgium both had ethnic problems. In Sri Lanka also there was ethnic differences between the people. First of all, the Sinhalese people, who were the original citizens of Sri Lanka, they were known as the Sinhalese people. They spoke Sinhala language, and they were mainly Buddhist. Clear? On the other hand, there was another group, they were the Tamils, who had migrated from India in search of jobs. The Tamils were there, they spoke the Tamil language and were mainly Hindus, Muslims, Christians and Parsis. Clear? So this Sinhalese, what happened? This was the scenario. The Sinhalese were the original citizens. They spoke the Sinhala language and they mainly followed Buddhism. On the other hand, there was a small group of people, those who have migrated from India. They were the Tamilians. They spoke the Tamil language and they were either Hindus, Muslims, Christians or Parsis. Now, you know what happened? The Sinhalese government, that is the government of Sri Lanka, they have made special arrangements for the Sinhalese people. They got all kinds of, they got all kinds of reservations in jobs for central government jobs. They got reservations in universities. Clear? And and the people and the Tamilians, they were not getting all these kinds of facilities. This was one. And in the year 1956, the Sinhalese government, what did they do? They passed one act, and by this act, they made Sinhala as the official language of Sri Lanka. Now, with this started a problem. Why? Because the Tamil people in Sri Lanka, first of all, their language was not Sinhalese. This was one. And together with that, the Tamil people were not getting any kinds of facilities, any kinds of opportunities which the Sinhalese people were getting. So this resulted, in horrible, terrible conflict, and a civil war broke out between the Sinhalese and the Tamils of Sri Lanka. Clear? And in this juncture, one terrorist group was formed, and the name of that group was the LTTE. LTTE means Liberation Tigers of the Tamil Eelam. Eelam means a separate state for the Sinhalese, a separate state for the Tamils in Sri Lanka. Clear? So what happened, there was a civil war between the Sinhalese and the Tamils when the Sri Lankan government, it imposed Sinhala as the official language of Sri Lanka. So at many places you will find that there were conflicts between the two groups. When the situations, the LTTEs, the terrorist group, they were creating violence in different parts of Sri Lanka. Now, when the Sri Lankan government could not control the situation, what did it do? It had called upon the central government of India for providing for military help. So, the Indian government had to send peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka, and a peacekeeping force was sent there. After sending the peacekeeping force, the Indian peacekeeping force, what did they do? They had suppressed all the militants, all the Tamils who were creating problems in Sri Lanka, and they have suppressed them and they have subdued them. Now, this was not regarded as something good by the Tamils. Why? Because they thought that the Indian government, instead of supporting them, they were supporting the Sri Lankans. So, as a result of this, you have heard about maybe that it was because of this that the Rajiv Gandhi assassination in the year 1991. 1991, you will find that the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi had taken place soon after this. A human bomb was used. If you remember or not, I don't know. A human bomb was used, and by using this human bomb, this bomb exploded, and the one she was a lady, was carrying the bomb. She also exploded, and Rajiv Gandhi had also exploded with that, and he was assassinated. Now, this was a result of this sending of peacekeeping force, because they thought that the Indian government, instead of supporting them, they were supporting the Sri Lankans. So, I have shown how in two different countries the ethnic problems, the problem of power sharing was actually Ma'am, can you please repeat the full form of LTT? Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. The full form of LTTE is Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, which meant that the Tamils of Sri Lanka, they wanted a separate land for themselves. They wanted a separate state for themselves. Why? Because they thought that being a part of the entire Sri Lanka was not at all profitable for them, because the Sri Lankan government was doing nothing for them. All reservations for jobs, for higher educational posts, they were kept reserved for the Sri Lankans, and the Tamils were getting nothing. So they made a demand for a separate state, and this demand was known to be the demand of Tamil Eelam. Eelam means a separate state for the Sri Lankans in Sri Lanka. A separate state for the Tamils in Sri Lanka. This is known as Eelam. If anybody is having a question, you can ask me. Next day I will start with forms of power sharing. Clear? We have seen how power has been shared in Sri Lanka. Another one, we have seen how power has been shared in, how power sharing has been brought about in Belgium. And next day I will start with forms of power sharing from this chapter, and we can end up with this chapter. This chapter is there for you in your syllabus for your boards. Clear? This syllabus, this chapter is there for you for the boards. Okay, next day again I will do. Thank you very much.